A couple of weeks ago, I featured Intellivision's Advanced Dungeons & Dragons on my weekly Friday plays. And in the comments for that video, because of the content of it and what I said in the video about the control challenges, I had many people say, "That's held me back too. How did you map the controls for such a complex Intellivision game on a modern controller?" Well, I'm going to show you exactly what I did in this video up next.
If you're a Gen X grown-up, this YouTube channel is just the beginning. Go beyond gaming with a casual and humorous take on movies, music, TV, tech, pop culture, and more. Hear the weekly Gen X Grown Up podcast anywhere you like to listen, or visit genxgrownup.com/pod.
Hey there, welcome back to Gen X Grown Up. I'm John and I am a Gen X Grown Up. Thank you for taking the time to check out this video. So I mentioned in that Friday Plays, which I will link up here if you want to go and see that itself, but I talked about how more complex seeming games on the Intellivision I had avoided because I wasn't sure how difficult it would be to map all those keypad buttons. Now it's just the disc and the button, no big deal. But if you have, 1, 2, 3, and 0 and clear and all those things you're needed in the game, and you have things like Microsurgeon and Bomb Squad and Dungeons and Dragons and all those, I had avoided them myself because I wanted to play them, but I'm like, I have to deal with that. And maybe you could map the numbers to keys, but that's not the same depending on how the keypad is used. All those challenges that kept me from doing it for so long. And I got a comment, many comments, one in particular from user Michael Ryan, who said he experienced the same thing I did. He had avoided these games because he was daunted by how to configure the keypad. So in this video, what I'm going to do is I'm going to set up Retroarch and my modern controller, show you how they work, and show you specifically like how I configured it to work for Advanced Dungeons and Dragons so that you won't be held back by the same challenges that I was. Let's go. Now, so you can see everything at the same time, here's what I've done. Down in this box is just my hands holding my Xbox One Elite controller. And everybody asks, by the way, this is just a skin. That's why it looks like an Atari. It's a skin that I put on there. Above this is a controller simulator, so you can see every button I push and every stick I move. You can see it happening there, so you can tell what I'm doing in case you can't see in the picture here. And then over to the left over there is Retroarch running. Now, right now I'm running this testing program for testing controllers that I found. It was made in 2016 by FW Games. I'll put a link down in the description if you care about this tester. But the nice thing about it is you can tell what I'm doing and what's reflected on the Intellivision when I do it. So I jump into the controller tester. So first things first is right away, if you're just doing buttons and that disc, really easy. So the left stick is auto mapped. I've not remapped anything here. And not only can you get north, east, southwest, but because it's an analog controller, you can get the 16 directions, north, northwest, west, northwest, west, southwest, all the 16 directions, not just 8. That's great. And then you have A and B is auto-mapped to the right and left buttons. Now, some people just look at those as the lower buttons, but Intellivision can interpret them separately if you want. And then also X is the top buttons. So that takes care of everything that's not the numpad, which I've intentionally saved that for last. So what about the numpad? That's the sticky, what was it, sticky wicket? Sticky wicket, I think. Anyway, automatically that's mapped to the right analog stick. So check this out. If I rotate this, there's 1, 2, 3, 6, 9, 8, 7, 4, right? So we get all of those. What about 5? Click down and you get a 5. Okay, we have 3 more. What about 0? That's the left. So you click down, you get a 0. And then finally you have clear and enter. So clear is the left trigger and enter is the right trigger. Now you don't have to change anything if you're happy with those. You can just play every game right out of the gate. Oh, by the way, the D-pad, if you just want the 4 or 8 directions, you can use the D-pad also. That's auto-mapped. But I use this because then you get all 16 directions. Now, if you want to change it, you just hop into the menu here and you come down to controls. And effectively, the way that Retroarch works is it tells you what physical buttons you have, and it gives you an option of what you can map it to. So like, for example, if I come down here, there's the right thumbstick, and it's mapped to keypad 5. If you jump in there, you could map it to something else or unmap it. Also means you can double map things. That's how you can have the directional here as well as here at the same time. So I'm going to just get out of that. So I haven't changed anything here. Now I did make a minor change in AD&D, the Cloudy Mountain game. And what I want to show you then is how this is used in practice inside of a game like AD&D Cloudy Mountain. Now next I'm going to hop specifically into that Advanced Dungeons & Dragons game for which I had a custom controller mapping, just moved a few buttons around. Before I do that, I want to remind you of our store at genxgrownup.com/merch. We've talked about it here before. Look, we have great designs based on video games and pop culture and TV and movies and sports. You can get them printed on hats and t-shirts and mugs and stickers and pins. If you're looking for anything cool like that, please consider our store, because not only will you get the thing you're looking for, but it supports Gen X Grown Up and independent content creation. Okay, let me go show you that custom controller map I made. So here is AD&D Cloudy Mountain running, and now you start the game by hitting, let me bring up the little numpad so you can see. This is the overlay that goes onto it. So you can see 1, 2, or 3 are the directions. So if I want to do, like if I go up here, I'm going to get gray because I pushed 3, which is the upper right direction to start the game. Navigating the overworld map uses the numpad, so that works really well for this right thumbstick because that's how you navigate the world. If you ever tried to play this game and tried to move with the left stick and nothing happened, well, that's why, because it doesn't use the left stick for moving in the overworld map. So, you know, you move around. Let's find a gray. So we could move diagonally down into that gray mountain. Right, and so now, inside of the game, you use the directions for arrows. Now what I chose to do, I'll show you my mapping. Let's jump out here and I'll show you my controls. And I've set it to auto-load this. There's just a couple of changes that I made, and it's in the, it doesn't use 5, the middle, but it does use clear and enter and everything. So let's come down here. So what I did is I put, let's see, I put enter on the right bumper. I put clear on the right trigger, and I put 0 on, what did I put it on? Put it down here somewhere. I put it up here. There it is. I put 0. I remapped 0 to the Y. So now those exist. So Y is how you check your arrows. There's that beep, beep, beep. I'm doing that. You only need the other 2 when you're picking things up or leaving. And of course you can shoot arrows. So I don't want to waste an arrow until I have something to shoot at, but let me just find something. There's a rat. There, I shot him by using left on the stick because that's how you can shoot. Of course, you can even shoot diagonal. I use right trigger to pick something up. Let's count my arrows. Yep, if I want to shoot up, want to shoot diagonal, I shoot myself, yeah. And yeah, just run around the game. Let's find a monster to kill. And we'll find the exit so we can do the last little bit, which is use a ladder, climb out is the exit. There's a spider. Shot him, easy. Just use the right thumbstick because that would be, what, 4 on the numpad. All right, there's a rat. I'll shoot him. And there's the ladder. And so I'm going to use the ladder. That's the right bumper. Boom. And I'm out. So that's it. I mean, minor remapping. And if you don't want that remapping, you can easily just use the default, which, as you saw, you know, has the 0 over here. And it has whatever I showed you a second ago. But it's really that simple. Don't be daunted by this like I was. You saw when I did the playthrough in Friday Plays, it was just transparent to me. Once you map the controls the way you like them, and largely it's pre-mapped, you can get into the game. Keep a reference, keep that little card next to you, what the overlay is, but if you have that, and you know these are the cardinal directions to move around, you're set. My hope is, here at the end of the video, you've watched all along, and now you're saying, well, that's easy. Is that all there was to it? Because that's kind of how I felt once I actually took the plunge and figured out how to do it. If you also have been avoiding those games because you just think you can't handle them without a real Intellivision controller, that's not true. You can. Don't let that stop you from discovering really cool things in the library that I am now exploring now that I'm no longer, don't have that like petrified feeling of how will I ever map all those buttons. It's pretty easy. A lot of it's kind of done for you and you can tweak it the way you like. Look, I'll throw links to some other videos I've done recently here and here. I certainly hope you found something to enjoy in this quick video. And I can't wait to talk to you again next time. Bye-bye.